guest speaker is a man who has seen it all in his political career as an MP, as a deputy minister, as a substantive minister, as vice president, and as president. He is the fourth president under the Fourth Republic of Ghana, and hopefully very soon he will become the sixth president under the Fourth Republic of Ghana. Before I invite the cultural troupe to invite him, I also wish to state that on the personal level, this man helped to improve my CV. As a journalist, when you get to interview a president and a former president exclusively, it means a lot. This man allowed me access to his home, and out of his busy schedule, he gave me 2 precious hours of his time just to speak to him one-on-one. And that tells you the humility of the man we're about to introduce. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Let's give a round of applause. But first,
Council Chairman, Professor KWESI is here, and also to recognize our traditional rulers, and also Prof. Akudugu, who is the main driver behind this transformation dialogue. And let me continue on established protocol and just distinguished guests, my brothers and sisters. I'll also start with an icebreaker on keynote speeches. And there was this guy who was invited to give a keynote, one of the keynote addresses. There were several of them who were giving keynotes. And this was particularly very long. And so as he kept talking, people started leaving the hall one after the other. And when he got to, in conclusion, there was only one person left. Everybody had left. And so he finished his conclusion, and then he put the microphone down, walked up to the guy who was left, and asked him, "Why did you stay? Everybody left while I was giving the lecture." And he says, "Because I'm the next speaker after you." And so the only reason he didn't leave was he was supposed to speak after him. Everybody else had gone. And so I'll make this mercifully short so that you all don't abandon me in this hall. Ladies and gentlemen, annual transformational dialogue on small-scale mining. Mining has been and will continue to be a significant contributor to our nation's economy. It's urgently acknowledged that illegal mining, which is popularly referred to as galamsey, has posed a severe and immediate threat to our environment, our health, and our economy. We cannot afford to watch as our natural resources are plundered and our communities continue to suffer the consequences. We cannot afford to watch Ghana is blessed with abundant natural resources, including gold, and has experienced the devastating effects of illegal mining firsthand. Our rivers and lands have been polluted, our forests have been destroyed, our people have been left without clean water, fertile lands have been degraded. We cannot allow illegal mining to continue unchecked. We must chart a new vision for our country's mining industry that prioritizes sustainable development and responsible mining practices. We must look to both local Ghanaian examples and global incidents to inform our approach to curb illegal mining. Illegal mining is not peculiar only to our country, and there are global best practices that we can borrow from. In our own country, we have witnessed the destruction caused by illegal mining in places like the Birim River, the Ankobra, and the Pra rivers. We have seen the devastation caused by illegal mining in many of our forest reserves, including the Etiwa Forest Reserve, which is known to be a home to endangered species and is vital to our country's water supply. We cannot afford to lose these precious natural resources to the greed of a few individuals. Internationally, we've seen the tragic consequences of illegal mining in places like Brazil, where the recent collapse of a dam at an illegal mining site resulted in the loss of hundreds of lives. To address these challenges, we must work together, including all of you, to develop and implement policies that prioritize sustainable mining practices and hold those who engage in illegal mining accountable. This will require a multifaceted approach that includes stricter enforcement of mining laws, increased investment in responsible mining technologies, and enhanced efforts to educate and empower small-scale miners to operate sustainably. We must also prioritize preserving our environment and protecting our natural resources for future generations yet unborn. This means us taking bold steps to rehabilitate and restore areas affected by illegal mining and investing in renewable energy sources to reduce our reliance on traditional mining practices. As a leader of the National Democratic Congress, I'm deeply committed to working with all stakeholders when we come into government to chart a new vision for our country's mining industry. We must ensure that Ghana's natural resources are managed to benefit all our people and not just a few. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Council Chairman, the small-scale mining sector plays a significant role in our economy and provides livelihoods for millions of our people and is contributing to the development of our nation. It has been both a bedrock of livelihood for many and a source of considerable environmental and safety concerns, as well as concern about illegal mining activities. Today, the sector stands at the crossroads, and the decisions we make or fail to make and the actions we take or fail to take will determine its role in our nation's future. As a nation, we cannot fail to recognize the significant contribution of small-scale mining to our economy. And as I said, it's estimated to provide employment to over 1 million Ghanaians and serves as a crucial source of income in many of our rural areas. However, the environmental impact of unregulated mining activities has been profound, negatively affecting our water bodies, our lands, and our forests. I'm dedicated to supporting the transformation of small-scale mining, and my vision in this regard is very clear. The NDC, which I lead, will aim to reform small-scale mining into a better regulated, environmentally responsible, and economically viable sector. You'll all agree with me, ladies and gentlemen, that we can develop the sector into one that contributes to our economy in a sustainable manner while respecting our environmental heritage. Over the past 7 years, small-scale miners in this country have endured enough government mishandling of the sector, such as equipment confiscation, burning of excavators, and in some cases, the loss of lives of innocent Ghanaians. Ladies and gentlemen, let me share with you a few of what I intend to do in this sector. That is some key policy proposals and initiatives we will implement to help us achieve what should be a sustainable, responsible, and prosperous small-scale mining sector. Firstly, we propose the establishment of district mining offices in all mining districts of the country. So it means that every district in which mining takes place will have an office of the Minerals Commission, the Environmental Protection Agency, and all the other agencies associated with mining. These offices will be staffed by officers from the Minerals Commission, the EPA, and other agencies related to the mining sector. These offices will usher in a new era of transparency and efficiency, streamlining the application process for mining licenses and fostering hope and prosperity among small-scale miners. To support these efforts, we plan to amend the Minerals and Mining Act to grant district mining offices a greater role in the process of issuing mineral licenses. So as a small-scale miner, you won't need to always travel to Accra to the Minerals Commission head office. You will have a Minerals Commission office in your district, and they will be responsible for supervising your activities. This decentralization of much of the process for licensing would increase the number of regulated small-scale mining companies and thereby boost youth employment, particularly under our 24-hour economy policy. As part of our broader economic transformation model and a burning commitment for creating more sustainable and decent jobs for the Ghanaian youth, my administration intends to ensure the active involvement of mining engineers and related specialist graduates from the University of Mines and Technology and the University of Energy and Natural Resources, Sunyani, in the small-scale mining sector. And so these district mining offices and EPA offices and all the other agencies will be manned by graduates coming from UMAT and UNER. These graduates will be attached to the newly created district mining offices, and they will also be attached to small-scale mining companies. And so if you have a small-scale mining lease, you will have a graduate from one of these universities supervising your mining and making sure that you're doing the right thing on your mine. This will introduce the best mining practices and thereby ensure the safety and sustainability of mining practices. These professionals will be attached to newly created mining district offices and to small-scale mining operators in order to provide them with guidance and support. We will establish a centralized buying mechanism for purchasing gold from small and medium-scale mining companies at competitive prices. This raw gold will be refined in order to add value to it before we export. We'll collaborate with the private sector to secure the necessary international certification for our refined gold for export. We know that one of the impacts of illegal mining has been the destruction of our forests and our cocoa farms. We'll prevent the destruction of cocoa farms from mining activity and effectively ban the issuance of entry permits into forests for mining purposes. We'll investigate the opaque gold for oil program and expose the actors benefiting from this. We'll investigate the opaque gold for oil program and expose the actors benefiting from this so-called barter agreement. Reports reaching me suggest that a new debt burden is being created because Ghana has not been able to keep up with its delivery of gold under the program. A portion of revenue from gold proceeds will be used to improve infrastructure and social services in mining communities. So wherever there's mining, we'll reinvest some of the revenue in improving infrastructure in those districts and in those communities. Recognizing the invaluable role of traditional leaders in our society, and as a testament to our commitment to inclusivity and respect for all stakeholders, my government intends to have traditional leaders included in the crucial process of granting mining licenses in their communities. We will strengthen regulatory institutions such as the Minerals Commission, the EPA, the Geological Survey Authority, and the Natural Resource Universities to further this. This will involve laws, policies, regulatory enforcement, and education. Miners will be made aware of the regulations and the reason for the regulations. They must be partners in this transformative process and not enemies. The aggressive approach adopted in recent times has proved unsustainable. That is using galamsey and military people to police galamsey. This has only helped worsen the fight against galamsey and led to a situation where some political actors and their task force teams have profited from the arrangement. It is also my vision to reform the mining sector structurally. Ghana's small-scale mining sector is perhaps the only economic sector with only two categories. And the two categories are small-scale mining and large-scale mining. Some mines within what is currently classified as a small-scale category have grown beyond small. But at the same time, they are not large enough to qualify as large-scale. And so we'll structurally reform the entire mining sector through a comprehensive recategorization into small-scale mining, medium-scale mining, and large-scale mining. So there will be three categories of mining activity, and each will have specifically tailored operational, environmental, and safety requirements that they have to follow. Through these deliberate efforts, sector regulation will be much easier and more effective. And support systems for miners, including access to legal mining sites, fair markets for selling their gold, and financial services would be enhanced. By providing a framework that supports legal mining practices, we hope to encourage compliance and deter illegal activities. Additionally, we will take deliberate and conscious policy steps to ensure that indigenous Ghanaian-owned companies wholly operate in the medium-scale mining and small-scale mining sectors. So these sectors will be reserved for Ghanaian companies. We'll also implement shedding off for large-scale concession holders. If you are a large-scale concession holder, we know that the gold occurs in different quantities in different parts of the concession. You have the core of the concession where you can have sometimes 8 grams per ton, 9 grams per ton. And you have other parts of the concession where you have 1 gram per ton. Normally, the large-scale miners are interested in where there's a bigger concentration of the gold in the ore. And so they are not in a hurry to mine where it's 1 gram per ton or less than 1 gram per ton. We'll do what we call shedding off. And so the areas they are not interested in, we will demarcate those areas and we'll put small-scale mining companies on those shed-off areas to be able to mine successfully. And we'll let them mine under the supervision of the large-scale concession holder and the Minerals Commission, the EPA, and all the other regulatory bodies. Additionally, we will introduce and encourage technological innovation to improve capacity for coordinated monitoring of the small-scale and medium-scale mining sectors in order to reduce the environmental impact. This will include using AI to locate all small-scale mining and galamsey operations, to be able to track excavators and geofence all concessions to ensure mining operations are not conducted in unapproved areas, especially in water bodies. When we talk about geofencing, there's a technology that allows you to establish what we call virtual boundaries around a concession. And so you can, in real time, see what is happening in the concession. If an excavator enters, you know an excavator has entered. If an excavator leaves, you know an excavator has left. And everything that is being done in the concession, you can monitor it from the Minerals Commission office in real time. A special financing scheme will be established to provide capital and mining equipment pools in each district where gold mining is prevalent. We're going to depend on the private sector for this, to provide small-scale financing and medium-scale financing to the companies so that they can do their mining. But only if you are legally mining. And then we'll also create pools where they have excavators, they have bulldozers, they have all the equipment you need for mining. And so you can go and lease the equipment to work on your mine, and when you finish, you return the equipment back to the pool. This will facilitate easy and affordable access to relevant mining equipment. And let me emphasize, these services will be available for only companies that are engaged in lawful and regulated mining. To support all these brilliant initiatives and ensure that we're implementing them as best as possible, I've announced the launch of a Ghana Mining Excellence Center, which will be run initially for 5 years and will be coordinated by UNER and UMAT. The two universities will coordinate it. So there'll be a center here in UNER, there'll be a center in UMAT. And these centers will undertake research into mining activities for sustainable development. The way I envision these centers of excellence, they will collaborate with scientists from other universities worldwide to implement joint research and innovation projects that will stimulate green growth within the Ghanaian mining and minerals industry. This is informed by the thinking that research and evidence-based policies practice should be at the center of our mining vision. Therefore, the university research and innovation scale-up community should prepare and rise to the occasion when the time comes next year. In order to increase the capacity of UNER and UMAT to produce first-class graduates for the mining industry, we will undertake a major upgrade of infrastructure in the two universities. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been established that community involvement in small-scale mining is crucial to its effective management. As we know, the African vision on mining is in favor of inclusivity. It's in favor of including the indigenous people in the mining activity. It is therefore important to encourage the formation of mining cooperatives that allow community members interested in mining to organize themselves for the necessary governmental support to mine efficiently and sustainable. The proposed small-scale mining cooperatives we are talking about will differ in all forms from the existing community mining scheme, which has undeniably become a conduit for enriching party chairmen, DCEs, and other politically connected individuals. Indeed, in my government, if you are a minister or a DCE or an official and you undertake mining activity, I'll ask you to resign and go and do the mining. You either choose to be a public official or choose to be a business person running a mine. At the same time, we cannot overlook the years of galamsey activities that have left our country with legacy scars. We propose some initiatives to restore degraded lands, rehabilitate impacted forests, and clean our polluted water bodies. These initiatives will restore the environment and create thousands of jobs in the affected mining communities. We will establish a reclamation fund into which all legal mining operators will contribute. So there'll be a fund, a reclamation fund. If you own a mining concession, you will pay some money monthly into the reclamation fund. When you finish mining, if you use your own equipment, you level the ground, you reclaim the land nicely, we'll give you back your money. You take your money away. But if you don't reclaim the land, we will use that money to employ people in the community to reclaim the land, level it, and make it available for agriculture. So this fund will be utilized to reclaim all degraded lands after mining has been exhausted. This will provide jobs in water cleaning, land leveling, tree growing for many of the youth currently involved in illegal mining. So a lot of the young people who are currently involved in illegal mining, we will transition them into rather reclaiming land and growing trees on the degraded lands. We'll establish a national joint action team on mining and forestry, a collaboration between the Forestry Commission, the private sector, and the small-scale mining operators to rehabilitate impacted forest reserves. This initiative will create thousands of jobs in the affected mining communities. A galamsey rehabilitation initiative will work to convert impacted lands into lands for commercial crop production, such as palm oil. We'll grow oil palm on the lands that we have reclaimed. We can grow cocoa on some of those lands. In the northern sector of the country, we can grow shea nut trees, and we can also grow rubber on some of these degraded lands. This operation will be funded through the reclamation fees, green growth funds, carbon credits, and companies interested in plantation development. I will launch a Tree for Life project through which reforestation by young people in mining areas will become an economically engaging activity. They will supervise the growth of these economically viable tree crops, and they will benefit from them. Through a Blue Water Initiative, the Water Resources Commission and the Ghana Water Company will partner with our development partners to clean the impacted water bodies. Ladies and gentlemen, finally, I urge you to join us in fostering dialogue among all stakeholders, including miners, environmental groups, local communities, and the government. It is only through open, honest, and inclusive dialogue that we can achieve lasting solutions and build a sustainable, responsible, and prosperous small-scale mining sector in Ghana. It is time for us to come together and take decisive action to end illegal mining and chart a sustainable future for our mining sector. I stand firm in this commitment and will work with you all to build the Ghana we want together. I thank you, and may God bless our homeland, Ghana. Thank you.
A round of applause one more time for His Excellency, the former president and presidential candidate of the NDC, Mr. John Dramani Mahama.